Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
Now, we do a bit of radio broadcasting of football games, and we're not allowed to have favourites, are we, when we do that?
Yeah, but we do.
Yeah, well, this is one of my absolute favourites. She is not only a great footballer, but she's just an absolute lovely person as well. Good morning to you, Anna Teague.
Good morning. How are you going now?
Doing very well indeed. You're now climbing under the bed in embarrassment, but that's okay. That's part of the fun. We are both excited for you, but very disappointed for the rest of us to hear of your retirement from the game of AFLW football. Congratulations on what has been a short but very enthusiastically received career of football.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, look, it's a funny time. It's along with how life is at the moment, just with COVID. It seems like an unusual thing to be even worrying about, or I'm kind of feeling a bit flat about it, to be honest, because I don't get to play footy anymore. But I'm sure that will pass. I'm sure that that in time I'll be able to look back and I've already started doing it, but I'll look back and see that the footy career, albeit short, it was really wonderful, and I had an absolute blast.
And I think one of the things that we often overlook with players who have played AFLW and VFLW football is a significant number of you have also played elite sport in another sport. In your case, it was basketball. Let's go back to a younger Anna Teague. Coming through the teenage years, basketball was pretty much the option because there's no women's footy.
Yeah. So I've said it a bit in the past, but I played a bit of Auskick and then had no opportunities, to further myself in football. So moved to basketball and tried my hand at some other sports through my teen years as well. And then basketball was my go-to until 28 years old. And then the opportunity to play footy arose, and it was. I'm really glad that I got the opportunity, the latter years of my career, and that I got the opportunity to chuck the boots on and have a go at footy. I'm really glad that I was able to do it. I'm flat.
Anna, the decision to do it, was it a case of, the opportunities available, I've been wanting to do this all my life, I'm excited, let's get into it, or did you need some encouragement to make the code hop at the time? Look,
I guess I'm a fairly loyal person, and the difficulty was actually making the decision, not necessarily the decision to take up footy, but to leave basketball and leave the team that I was playing with the Super Cats. I felt like I was putting myself first and putting this, my team second. But I guess in the end, I had to think about what was good for me. If I look in 20 years' time and look back and think, God, I didn't want to say, I wish I'd had a go at footy. And so, it was just about just making a leap, saying yes, and then dealing with it.
And just real excitement being one of the pioneer girls in this now phenomenon that is women's footy, and I hope it continues to be when we get back to normal. But it was an incredible wave that you all rode in those early years, starting it off again. It must have been a thrill to be involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to see the growth across all ages of women's footy is incredible. I work at the club as well in the foundation, and I've had access to numbers of, I wouldn't be able to tell them exactly what they are, but I've had access to numbers of the growth across the region in Geelong, and it's quite remarkable. So to be part of that and to be able to have a voice in encouraging that and promoting that, women's footy and women's sport, it's been really special.
I guess the other thing is too, when you're 80 and you're sitting around with your grandchildren and talking about, Grandma, tell us about the time when you played footy, you will always have been the first ever number 40 at the Cats. And, every player that wears that jumper since is going to be, you will have started that off. I reckon that's got to be something a bit special, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, in the moment and in time, I guess I didn't think of it that way, but when you sort of say it that way, it's really great. and hopefully by that time, hopefully I am 80.
Well, Rob is, and it's he's doing
time of
okay.
life, Anna.
But yeah, if I'm hoping that by the time I get to that point, I'll be able to look back at women and girls who are playing it professionally and full time. I really hope to be seeing it by that point.
Anna, you're in the midst of it. We on the outside, as Geelong supporters, are very proud of the way the footy club has embraced the women's team. Is it like that on the inside? Do you really feel very much part of the club, and what the men's team is doing now is still felt and encouraged and jointly received by the girls in the group?
Yeah, for the most part. Look, I'm sure, it's always been a men's dominant arena and world, and I think there are certainly adjustments that not necessarily people disagreeing with it or not liking it. I think it's just an adjustment of having women within the space and playing the sport. So it's definitely not a dig. I just think, some people weren't used to it, and that's fair. It takes some time. But yeah, absolutely. Like the support that we got and the time that we got, and it's definitely felt across the club.
I think one of the things too, Anna, that's going to make a major difference, I can remember being at Cardinia Park calling a game of football between Geelong and, in those days, Box Hill in the first ever VFLW game for both clubs. Did you play in that game? I think you did.
Yes,
yeah,
did.
Yeah. I remember seeing you from a very long distance up in the commentary box, and the skills in that game, I think it's fair to say, were not as good as they are now. That's probably a nice way of putting it. There were fumbles, there was all sorts of things going on, but what we had was 44 or 46 players, whatever it is, who had never played footy properly, if you know what I mean, as at that level, and had come through as basketballers, or Box Hill had a champion cyclist amongst them. They had people from all sorts of sports. We're now seeing the Nina Morrisons and the Olivia Purcells and the Amy McDonalds coming through who have only really played footy. It's got to do something for the skill level of the comp, doesn't it?
Sorry, I've just got my partner using the chainsaw outside cutting some wood.
That was the best question I've asked in all the history of the program, and he's turned the chainsaw on. Where I was going was, there are a lot of hybrids, and you're obviously a hybrid who's come from the basketball world. We're seeing the Ninas and the Olivias and the Amys coming through now who have basically only ever played footy. It's got to improve the skill pool, you would think, as a overall across the competition. Yeah,
that's right. So I guess for people in my position, we were very fortunate that we got the opportunity. In maybe 20, 30 years' time, there won't be as much of that crossover between sports. But looking at kids kids, they're now adults.
Sounding old.
Yeah, looking at kids, I guess it's relatively speaking.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Looking at people like Nina and Olivia and a lot of the other younger girls coming through, it's just so evident with their game sense and their skill level, and that they have been playing from a younger age, and I'm so excited to see a lot of those younger kids coming through with that same level, and it can only continue improving the competition and the skill level.
Yeah, we had Jason Armstead very regularly on the show, who's coached the Falcons groups for a while and underage girls groups across the state, and he did say at this time last year that it would be very difficult now for a code hopper to come into the system as you did, and get an opportunity such as the quality of the 16, 17, 18-year-old girls that, as Neil said, have pretty much played footy all of their teenage years. That the advancement in skill is so profound now. Yeah,
that's right, and I'm very realistic about that. But I'm definitely not going to let it detract from the fact that I was able to do it.
No way.
I'm proud to say that I was able to play and have some time in the sport.
Oh, and of course, if you had have come through now, you would have been in the same boat, that you would have had footy all your life, and a different path totally, potentially. And so you've had an even better opportunity, I would have thought. Now, putting a line across today's date and saying, okay, we've talked a lot about your career so far. You are doing some excellent work along with Eva and the rest of the team in the Cats Foundation. Give us a few minutes on, because you've obviously been out of the office for a while, back into the office on Monday, I think. But what does the Cats Foundation do, and how can folk that are listening support what you guys are doing in the community?
Yeah, sure. So So there's two of us that work in the foundation, and so the foundation is the philanthropic arm of the club. Now, and excuse me if I fumble a bit, because like you said, I've been out of office down for the last 5 months, so I'm looking forward to getting back on Monday. So we support all elements. So we support, we raise funds and through philanthropy and fundraising for heritage, and for community and for football. So we may change the campaigns, or we do change the campaigns, or what we're focusing on at different stages of the year. We are. It's a tricky time at the moment. There had to be redundancies made, which is just so terribly difficult for everyone involved. It's super important at the moment now that we're able to get support through the foundation to help the club stand on its feet.
And I think Geelong is in a unique position in so much as it has its own community. You go up the road 70 k's and there's 9 clubs elbowing each other out of the way, and the interstate clubs have a similar sort of situation. I guess with Geelong having an opportunity to focus on your club, your community, your district, your town, it must make it a unique opportunity for the foundation.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, the support that the club gets from the community, and I guess it's mainly the Geelong community, but it's really lovely to hear from members interstate as well. I've had some contact with some beautiful people interstate as well. We're really fortunate that we've got such a passionate following and people who want to see that not only the football do well, which is fair, but they want to be able to see the club putting back duty, which is a part of what the foundation does. We're really fortunate that we've got such a passionate following down in Geelong, yeah.
And this new role within the club gives you a new opportunity, new skill set. What do you envisage you might be doing in 5 years from now? Do you think you'll still have this connection to a sporting club, which has been such an important part of your life for so long?
It's hard to see myself not being involved in the sporting sense or at a sporting club. I do have a teaching background, there could be opportunities for me to incorporate both sport and teaching, and I'm really not entirely sure at this stage. I'm really fortunate and really grateful that I have a position at the club and in a role that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I'm intrigued at the teaching background because this sport phenomenon that you girls pioneered has become such a powerful social tool now that in your position currently you can do a lot more than just raise funds for the club. It can become quite a dynamic society change, this sporting phenomenon in amongst women.
Yeah, you're right there. It's so important that we use the platform that we have, to try and promote it. And I have teammates, old teammates or ex-teammates that are working in the same sort of field. Kate Darby, she's working through leisure networks, trying to support, physical literacy in young children. So it's really important that we use this platform to try and promote it in a positive light.
Well, we are thrilled to have the opportunity to chat to you this morning, Anna, on a week that quite literally is life-changing for you. And, of course, with our involvement in GoFooty.live, we're certainly going to, albeit that we haven't done a lot of commentary this year, we'll certainly be doing our bit with as a community partner of the Cats Foundation, because we think what you're doing is just awesome, and we're looking forward to keeping in touch with you and Eva as the 2021 season unfolds.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the chat.
Pleasure. Thank you, Anna.
There she is, Anna Teague, sadly former Cats player now, and former Demons, we should acknowledge that part as well, and also basketballer for the Super Cats. Just an absolutely outstanding young lady.